Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. And in this video, we're going to be covering how you can manage your time more effectively and efficiently, and all these sort of concepts and techniques that we can use to make sure that you're applying it to your day-to-day so that you could eventually have more time to play Fortnite competitively and practice. The amount of hours has a really good relation to how good you actually become. So if you can manage your time on the other tasks in your day, whether it be school, whether it be work, whether it be time with your family, you can actually make sure that you're getting all of these things done and making sure you're getting it done in a timely manner so that you can get more hours to play Fortnite. And also in this video, I want to cover how you can be more effective with your time in Fortnite, right? You know, warm-up routines in general to practice, and making sure that your scrims, even if you can only play 3 scrims a day, how to make sure those scrims are the most effective scrims possible. So let's start with the first thing. First thing I really want to cover before we actually, dive deep into these topics is the fact that why should you trust me, right? A lot of people would ask that question in the comments right away. So let me first address that. In 2020, I was really focused on Fortnite and making sure that I was really drilled down onto it. And my dream was becoming a Fortnite pro player. And I was really focused on getting better because at the time I wasn't making a ton of money, but I wanted to make more, right? And win some tournaments, do well. And I believe in 2020, that's when I made heats in FNCS and made money in a cash cup and did all sorts of things that I'm sure a bunch of people would want to do and even go past that, right? Because that's not the peak of where you want to achieve in competitive, right? A lot of people want to go past that. So let's talk about how you can do that. In 2020 specifically, in my case, my dilemma with time was the fact that I had to work in an internship, right? An internship is essentially when you stop school for a bit and you go work at a company in your field. And essentially I had to literally cut out 8 to 9 to 10 hours of my day because of the fact that I had to drive there and back and have 45 minutes each way cut out of the time. Also the fact that I had to work 8 hours per day, right? So the dilemma was, how do I manage Fortnite? Do I have to quit? Like, do I have to stop? Like, there's no way that you can really manage this, right? Like, that was my first thought. But the truth is, there is a way to manage it. You just have to make sure that you're managing your time effectively. There's several techniques that I did to make sure that this was manageable. First thing was lunchtime, right? Lunchtime, a lot of people would go down to the cafe, or a lot of people would just go and socialize with a bunch of people. I really think that this is an opportunity for you to spend 30 minutes doing whatever you need to do, whether it's watching YouTube videos on educational Fortnite content, whether it's having a VOD downloaded so you can watch it back. Things that you need to do to go pro in a very competitive field like Fortnite. It's supposed to think like that, right? You need to make sure you're spending as much time possible wherever possible on Fortnite, right? There would be days when I would come home and I wouldn't be able to talk to my family because I was just like literally in my work clothes, go scrim at 6. So I'd just go home, start scrimming, and then scrim until like 1 a.m 2 a.m, sleep, wake up at 6:30, 7, and then just repeat, like go over it again. A lot of people had more hours than me. A ton of people in the community, whether it's tier 2, tier 3 pros, right? However, it's very important to understand that because I was trying to use my time effectively by making sure that each scrim was meaningful, by each scrim was VOD reviewed, we took it very seriously. We never joked around in scrims, and we never wasted time that way. I made it very clear to my team that okay, I don't have as many hours as you guys do. You guys need to be practicing your weaknesses. You need to be telling me what I'm weak at. I can go spend that time on fixing it. That's the sort of passion that you need, the drive that you need to make sure that you can at least achieve something in the competitive field. So the second thing is really understand the importance of using some sort of software tool to manage your day. And it can be as simple as a notepad, but I very much encourage that you guys do this at all. So many people don't want to do this. There's actually just 2 main tools. Like, a lot of people think that I have a huge list of things that we use, like a bunch of apps. It's nothing crazy, right? It's really simple. First thing that I really want to emphasize to you guys is the use of an app like Google Calendar. So it can be so simple, right? It doesn't even have to be that crazy. And this is a technique called time blocking, right? And it's really important that you guys understand that this is how you manage your time really, really well. Space out your day and plan out your day, and making sure that you're doing certain things and not messing up on certain things, and also not forgetting about certain things. It's really important that you do something like this if possible, if you really want to go to the next level, and also help yourself have some time dedicated to homework, have some time dedicated to VOD reviewing and scrimming and all those sorts of things. For an average kid who wants to compete in Fortnite, this is what it would probably look like, right? Like from 8 to 9, you wake up, right? You wake up, and then you get ready for school, right? And then classes from, I don't know, I have no idea. This varies, and make sure you understand that, right? Like it's not the same for each person, but it varies. So maybe from 9 to 12 you're taking classes, and it's so simple, guys. And I really recommend you do this the night before, so that not only when you're going to bed you're immediately emptying out your brain, like, oh, I already have something planned for tomorrow. By the time I wake up, I already know what I'm gonna do. And then from 12 to 1 you have lunch, and then you have classes. And I really I recommend it again, but the trick that I used during lunchtime was was to eat my lunch while I was watching something Fortnite related, right? So because I really wanted to practice that and get better. And then the thing in the next section would be classes again, probably until like 3. And I really recommend that you actually do attend classes. I do not recommend skipping them. And the fact that, you know, when you put it off, whether it's studying or, you know, making sure that you get these good grades, it's gonna hit you later on. What, even if it might not hit you this year, later on in grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, later on, right, it might hit you, and it'd be like, oh, I don't know this math, now I have to spend a ton of hours trying to catch up, right, on work that I should have done in the year before. Even if you don't intend to do anything academic, it's very important that you like at least manage it and have that work ethic and the ability to do something that you don't want to do. If you master the skill of doing the things that you don't like doing, you know, aka discipline, that's what the skill is called, you will actually be able to practice a ton of things in Fortnite which you may not enjoy, but you know it's necessary. Like if your goal is to become a Fortnite pro, it's very necessary that you aim train. It's very necessary that you do all these little things that are considered not fun, you know, scrimming 4 games a day at least, and something like scheduling would really ensure that you're doing the designated time that you've planned. Another thing that you can do after classes, you can just take like a 30-minute break, make sure you sort of de-stress from the fact that you're doing classes, right? Again, I really encourage that you guys do this literally on your own time. Make sure you have a calendar for yourself, because this will make your time very effective. And then we could talk about scrims from maybe 4, right? You could play like East Open or KMG scrims until maybe like gold scrims if you're playing gold scrims, and then you VOD review with your team for 2 hours, 1 or 2 hours, let's say 1 hour, right? Doesn't even have to be that long, right? Just make sure you understand the main concepts that you learned in the scrims and also the mistakes that you're doing in the scrims itself. So, and then dinner, you have dinner, right? And then just like de-stress, very simple, right? It doesn't even have to be that crazy. And then sleep, right? And then you have 8 hours of sleep. And the one thing I want to emphasize, if you guys don't know the importance of sleep, it is extremely ridiculous, the science behind it, as to why sleep is one of the most important things for performance in Fortnite. A lot of people encourage like this machismo attitude of, I don't want to sleep that much, it's okay, I'm a 4-hour sleeper, I'm a grinder because of that. It's not good, right? It's not even a health related thing. It's like, if your goal is to be the best Fortnite player there is to be, you learn more by sleeping the designated amount of time, right? So 7 to 8 hours, you sleep that, then you can actually achieve that easily, right? The 7 to 8 hours if you get off of your computer by 12, right, max. And then making sure that you're sort of de-stressing and then going right away to bed, and then repeating it the next day. Health is definitely a big factor to it, but also just short-term Fortnite performance the very next day is a big factor as well. Another thing that I want to mention about Google Calendar is the fact that you can color code stuff, right? So usually the way I do it is any sort of miscellaneous tasks I keep blue, any sort of school stuff I might do red, yellow, and then scrims I can do red. Any Fortnite related stuff I do red, right? And then there we go. This is pretty simple. And then you have like a very simple calendar, right? If people who might ask on the comments like, well, how do I balance my day? What does my day look like for at the moment as a YouTuber? I really make sure that I dial down and have every task completely mapped out, and making sure that I, you know, have YouTube completely mapped out, private coaching mapped out, coaching in my 40-hour job that I'm doing now mapped out, and I'm also studying to become a software engineer. I have that mapped out as well. And just make sure that all the tasks are simple and all the tasks are really easy to do. I want you guys to do the same, because if you manage your time effectively, you'll end up having more hours to spend on Fortnite. To make sure you're playing scrims in a more effective way and not wasting time while you're on Fortnite, and making sure you manage time there as well, really encourage you guys to play consciously. And what I mean by that is to play in a way that you're not autopiloting, right? You're actually really focused on what you're doing. You're really focused on the mistakes you're making. And also, if you've made a mistake in the past game, that you're immediately trying to fix it right away. You're immediately, as you're gliding into the next scrim or the next arena, you're trying to fix it right away. Every one of my students that I really coach and make sure that they're improving, this is the most important thing that I tell them, is the fact that they're not trying hard enough to apply themselves in game. They find out a mistake, right? And it's really important that you know, when you find out a mistake, it's not actually being fixed right away. You have to understand that it only gets fixed if you put an effort to apply it in game. If you're just playing 6 hours all over the place on autopilot, it's going to be really difficult for you to actually improve at a significant rate. The faster you fix it, the faster you improve. That's really a simple statement to say, and I think it holds true for anything, not just Fortnite. So that's basically it, guys. I want to make sure that you guys understand all of these things. I really encourage you guys to do this thing on your own time as well. Not only is this effective in Fortnite, but it'll be very effective later on if you learn this now with your studies, with the job, with everything else that you want to do. Before I go, I really want to make sure that you guys do this. So please comment down below that you made your schedule, and I will reply to you, and I want to see what your schedule looks like, right? So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.